And we are live. Coming to you live from the great state of Wisconsin is the Overdue Sports Team. I'm your host, Will Massa. To my right, Jake Sawinski. We're back with another Mailbag episode. How we doing?
It's still Friday, and it's still. The question
It's
is
the
always:
weekend.
Is Friday the weekend? Like
Friday is the weekend.
you'd say so? I'd say
Oh,
so
yeah,
too. There is a debate that like Friday isn't the weekend.
it is. Nothing happens on Fridays at work. It's Friday.
That's not true. For me, anyways. But all right.
Either
Ready
way,
to get into it?
it's the weekend. We got a lot of questions this week, so shout out to everybody. So we'll shout you out as I read through the questions, but thanks for participating and giving us some actual content instead of last time. I think I supplied one of two questions
You
or one
did.
of three.
I
So
didn't. I will never do it.
got to do what you got to do, man. So
Yeah, it's
shout out
okay.
to all the people. We actually got some good engagement this time. So first question coming from Stats Brad. Biggest MLB surprise player, biggest disappointment of the year. Let's start with the disappointments. I'll kick off. Mr. Corbin Carroll coming off a stellar year last year, putting up a 5.4 WAR. He's been pretty piss poor this year. He's hardly slugging above 300. WRC plus under 100, which WRC plus is basically weighted runs created. 100 is league average or average. He is at 83. The one good thing is he's still stealing a lot of bags considering his on base percentage is 300. He's got 13 swipes, so at least he's producing a little bit. But he hasn't been very good in the field. He's been piss poor at the plate. And the D-backs overall, that's kind of a reflection of their season. Like people were high on them coming into the year because of the World Series run. Granted, they weren't a World Series team, but you're expecting a little bit more. And I could say the same for the Rangers, but Carroll has just been a very accurate reflection of them as a whole.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, he was kind of the bright spot that they were gonna, be successful for the next handful of years, right? And it's probably just a sophomore slump kind of
I
thing,
agree.
Like, I think he'll be
Yeah.
all right in the long term, but it doesn't stop with him either. It's not like they're losing games because he's not playing well. That whole team isn't very good right now, but he's probably supposed to be your best player. Maybe not yet, but in the next couple of years, so we'll see. But yeah, it's been pretty disappointing.
Yeah, I think you hit it well. I'm not concerned about him. I think he's an incredibly good player, and I think he will be an incredibly good player, but sophomore slump is hitting him hard this year.
Yeah. I mean, he's hit more like 220.
Not even. Sitting 216.
216. Okay, I rounded up. Close enough. But we talked pre-show about mine. I was gonna say Dansby Swanson and you could do the whole Chicago Cubs team. They've been horrible. But I just saw this one on the fly. Jose Abreu.
Yeah.
Jose Abreu.
That's a good one.
And it's not like he's old, right? Like, I mean, outside of Frank Thomas in the last 25 years, he's probably one of the best White Sox players ever. In the last 25, I shouldn't say ever, in the last quarter century, outside of Frank Thomas or Big Cat or not Big Cat, Magley Ordonez, that 2005 team. After that, like, it was Mark Burley and like Jose Abreu for the last 10 years. He had that awesome playoff series against the Twins. Like, he was unstoppable in the playoffs last year. I felt like maybe I'm misremembering, but he was awesome that first series. I don't remember how he was against the Rangers. He had a pulse. He gave him some money, and he's not even on your big league. I think he got
an
called
MVP.
back up. Yeah, he won an MVP.
He got
the
DFA'd.
COVID year. Oh, like I knew he did, but is he still down?
I don't think he's on the team. He got DFA'd.
Oh, I must have missed that.
Unless somebody signed him and I didn't hear it, but
it proves my point even more. But yeah, like, he was horrible. Horrible. And yeah, I mean, the guy won an MVP 3-4 years ago. I think he won the MVP in the COVID season. He's only like mid-30s. Like, he's not that old. But yeah, that's sad because, like, I got a couple buddies that are big White Sox fans. It's just like sad because he was really good for a long time and like not that far. It wasn't that long ago either. It was like 2 years ago. He was still really good, and he's just
it's out of baseball.
He disappeared. Yeah. Quite literally disappeared.
That fall
That's
off
a
was
fall from grace.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's like,
Practically overnight. Yeah, he disappointing. Like I just thought of that one. I'm like, that's
a
actually
really good one.
way better because like at least the guy I was gonna say is still on the team and playing every day when he's healthy. But yeah, Jose Abreu, ooh, that's sad.
Yeah, holy cow. Biggest surprise of the year. We're sticking in the Midwest. I'm going to Bryce Terang for the Brewers. He struggled last year to say the least, which, first full season, so it is what it is. He still put together like 500 at bats last year, so pretty big sample size.
Mm-hmm.
He is ripping it up this year. He's got a 351 on base. The slug still isn't there, but that's not really what you look for him to do.
No, he turns everything into a double.
He does.
Great
He's got 26 stolen bases.
Yeah.
26 stolen bases. He's good enough in the field. I don't think he's amazing, but when you play second base, you don't have to be amazing.
Yeah, it's your liability. That in left field.
Yeah, and he's hitting 286, so he's putting the ball in play. He's getting on a shit ton. He cut down on the strikeouts a lot, which is huge. He was well above 20% last year. This year, he's like in the mid-teens for strikeout percentage. So those are like the two big things. And his walk percentage, I mean, he always had a good eye. Like last year, he was right around that 10% mark. So he's still around there, which is good, but it's up from last year. So he's doing all the little things right at the plate, and he's putting together a really good season. And he's kind of a huge piece of the Brewers right now because he was one of those guys that, like, what are you really going to get out of him this year? And what he's been doing is more than enough. I mean, if he swipes 50 bags this year, it's a pretty damn good year. Oh, yeah.
All right. I got two things. I want to circle back to the first one, just pose a question on the first topic, but I'll do that second. My biggest surprise, I'm going to, might be pretty obvious, but Gunnar Henderson. Like, I don't think anybody really expected him to provide all the slug that he has so far. I mean, he's doing it with a fairly respectable average too, right? I mean, I think he's hitting 270, 280, 20-plus home runs, breakout season, right? I mean, that team is loaded. The Orioles are loaded at every position, it seems like. And the competition to be, on the big league roster with, the guys you have is probably very high because they are a very talented young team as well. And like, he's been far and away, I'd say, their best hitter. You know what I mean? And at a leadoff spot too. Like, it seems like every time you start a game, like the Orioles are up 1-0, he homered. You know what I mean? It's just, I knew he was supposed to be a really good ball player, but like the home run numbers are pretty mind boggling. And that's not exactly a hitter friendly park either.
No, especially not for righties.
Yeah, but he's a lefty, but yes, but, and he hits at all fields. Like, he does. I think he plays pretty good defense too. I mean, he
plays very good defense.
You play shortstop, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. And then, see, you're the baseball guy here. I mean, if you're an Orioles fan, you're super happy about the way he's been developing, and like he seems to be getting better too. A lot of surprises, though. I mean, good and bad. You know what I mean? But I feel like he is like, wow, right in your face. We talked about it a little bit on the previous recording we did. You're still an idiot if you bet him at MVP at plus 600. I don't care if he wins. It's stupid. But to circle back to that first question, what are your thoughts on Ellie De La Cruz? Is he a disappointment? Or is he like,
I owe him
is a very new
apology.
You could do a thesis on it. Like, I don't think I owe him an apology. He still strikes out 900 times a game.
He does. He is a true 3 outcome guy. It is
home run, double, or strikeout. Yeah.
It is wild. And he steals a lot of bags. He steals a shit ton of bases. He's got the best arm of any infielder in the league besides maybe O'Neal Cruz in Pittsburgh. I don't know. I agree. Like, I can't get a read on it because, like, the way people talk about him, you'd think he's Shohei Ohtani, but he's nowhere near the MVP conversation. Like, he isn't. And the way people talk about him, you would think he would be.
Yeah, it's just.
I don't think he's disappointing, but I don't think he's like.
Yeah, like that's kind of how I feel about it too. It's like, yeah, he's got like a huge hole in his game, but like he's still.
But he still produces at a really high level. I don't know. I can't.
Yeah, I might change your mind with this one, though. You know that guy Davis Hamilton on the Red Sox?
Yeah.
They have the same WRC+.
I just can't. I was kind of an Ellie hater coming into this year. Like my big thing with him is he just strikes out like way too much for my liking, and he still does. Like there's nothing that has changed in that part of his game. But I think it's just that he's just hitting for so many more extra base hits than he did last year. It looks like he's doing better than he is. And he's on pace for 200 strikeouts.
Yeah,
if not more.
Yeah, and I get it's kind of conducive to like the style of play, this like how baseball is now, but like you're a professional baseball player and a damn good one. Yeah, you should be like. I'm not doing the whole I wouldn't strike out 200 times in a season because like I would strike out every time. I would strike out every time. I wouldn't hit a ball, but like you're a professional baseball player and you're very talented. Like you should not strike out that many times.
I don't know if he's
for
still
you.
On
it
pace.
Is not that hard. Like
he was on pace for a long time. I don't know if he still is, but he was on pace for 100 stolen bases and 200 strikeouts. Like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the exact number crunching is, but like I remember
it's probably still close to that. And it's like I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent about him. I'm not like on the hype train with him. I think he's an alien as far as like physical ability, but as a baseball player, I'm kind of right in the middle. Like I don't think that he is like super disappointing to the point where it's like, what the hell is he doing? But I don't think he's like, oh my God, look at Ellie De La Cruz. I think he's just he's just beyond physically talented. So it's like he's eye popping. Like you watch him play and you're like, holy shit, this guy's legit.
He's uber talented. Yeah, no doubt about it. But I think a lot of it is it's like we live with social media right at our fingertips all the time, and the MLB is finally like doing something to promote their best players, and so that's all you see is Shohei and him. Shohei did it, by the way. Let's clear the air there. That guy's a degenerate like me. He did it. They're just not going to throw their golden boy under the bus. No fucking way. He did it. He's guilty. Guilty. Give him the chair. But they promote their superstars, and that's exactly what they should do. But I just feel like in our heads, it's like all we see is Ellie De La Cruz. Everyone thinks he's so good, and it's not. It's just like recycled MLB content, I think. But I think you put it pretty well. Like definitely talented, but like still needs a lot of work. Very raw talent, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel the same way.
I like that one. Pushing to our next question from Discuss Baseball, a good friend of the program. One player that everyone thinks is getting traded but won't. We had the same answer almost immediately. Mine is Pete Alonso. There's been so many rumors of him getting shipped off. I've been running some propaganda about him.
Yeah, about him going to the Cubs. I don't want him. I
actually don't think he's going anywhere. And this winning streak, it might be recency bias to where I think they may not sell anymore with this whole crazy winning streak that they're on.
That far out. That's true.
And just like we talked about it before, like the NL is not good this year as a whole. Like everybody is in it outside of Colorado and Miami. So for them to sell, I don't think really makes sense. And I know there's rumors of him saying that he wants more than what they're trying to offer him, which what they're offering him or what he wants supposedly is more than what Freddie.
The team is probably offering a fair contract to guys.
They are. Yeah, I can't remember what the number is, but the number that was reported that Alonso wanted is more than what Freddie Freeman makes. He's not better than Freddie Freeman, so he's not going to get that.
There's like 5 players better than Freddie Freeman.
There's not a lot of first basemen.
Like one first baseman may be better than Freddie.
Yeah, it's like him and Bryce Harper all the way at the top, and then.
And I don't even qualify Bryce Harper as a first baseman. Like he is technically.
He is this year, but
I don't think of him as one.
Yeah, I don't think he's going anywhere though. There's been a lot of rumors, and kind of over the last week or so, I'm kind of starting to lean towards he's staying put, and the Mets might try to buy.
Could be. And like, I mean, the NL East is kind of interesting because like you do have a runaway best team, the Phillies. They're one of the 2, I'd say. And then after that, it's pretty gettable. Like the Braves don't look very good. Like I know Acuna is a big spark in their team, but I mean, no excuses, guys. Like your team is definitely talented enough to be playing well above 500 ball. You won the World Series without Acuna.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Even
So, like,
even
push
without
that
Strider
tier.
too. Like they're gonna make moves at the deadline, no
Oh,
doubt about it.
100%. And like
But they should
their
be better than they
management is
are.
smart. Yeah, exactly. And like that's the nail in the coffin to the argument right there. You literally won the World Series without your best player already. Like,
Yeah.
why are you guys piss poor?
Yeah.
But Freddie Freeman. But there you go. But my pick is Lane Thomas. The Nats have been so bad for so long. Why is he still on their team?
No, that's wrong question. That's for the next
Oh,
one.
oh
Who's
shit.
not getting traded?
Oh,
We'll get to that one.
oh,
Spoiler,
yeah.
spoiler.
I only wrote down the second piece of it. Spoiler. I like Lane Thomas. Do your guy who's not getting traded. I got to think of a guy who is getting
It was
fixed.
Alonso. That was
Yeah, I
it.
know I said Alonso, but I want to think of somebody different.
All right, then we'll
Or
push to
I
the
could
next
just
one.
go bold and be like, hey, this is the year they finally trade Lane Thomas.
No, you have Lane Thomas for the next question.
No, I know I did, but I mixed him up in my head.
Yeah,
So.
I remember you said Bo
Oh,
Bichette as
that's
a
what it
guy who
was.
you
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
think
yeah,
will.
yeah. Okay, Bo Bichette. Well, that's like one you could like. I could do two, like make an argument for each one. But okay, you're right. Thanks for keeping me on track. Bo Bichette. I think Bo Bichette might actually, or not actually, get traded. I don't even think he's that good. So like, I don't know. Like we were talking pre-show, and we were like, you said Vlad too. You
I
mentioned
said
him. I
Vlad.
might have just spoiled your next pick, but.
No.
Oh, you decided not to go with him? Okay, yeah, look
Yeah.
at me, Jake W. So, um, I don't know if he's good or not. Like, I feel like it's an Ellie De La Cruz example that's like gone expired because now he's shit. You know what I mean? Like last year and the year before, all you heard Vlad and Bo, Kevin Biggio. Look at him, he stinks. Like, I don't know what to really think of him. Like, he has trade value because he's at least an average shortstop. I'd say above
Yeah.
average, but like the potential's there, didn't he? He hit like 300 last year, if not 300, damn close. And it's like,
Yeah.
I think maybe with him, it's just time for a change because I don't like that manager. I don't like that team. I think there are very few endearing qualities about that team aside from maybe like Dalton Varsho and Davis
Yeah.
Schroeder. Like those are the only two bright spots on that team. Like George Springer has been useless for like the better part of a year and a half. Vlad, I don't do that. Same thing.
I just
with
don't think he's
both
that good.
off a cliff. No, they just might not. Like none of those guys might be good. George Springer is like he has nothing to prove. But like Justin Turner's on for like another cup of coffee with a different team after he got
So is Kevin Kiermaier too.
Kevin Kiermaier. Yeah, it's just like that team sucks. And like your ace, Kevin Gosman's supposed to be really good, and he's not. And it's like, look at the division you're in too. Like the Red Sox, I like the Red Sox before the season started. I think when we did our prediction episode, I might have missed the AL one, but we were talking about it before. I thought the Red Sox were going to be like a sneaky good team. Then for the first month, I looked like a complete idiot. And now I don't look like an idiot. I might be smart. I might not be. But then you got the Orioles. You got the Yankees. The Rays suck. So like it's between those two. It's like the Blue Jays are closer to the Rays.
100%.
Like you're on the sucky end of the division. You're not
and
in.
they shouldn't be.
They
really shouldn't be.
Yeah, so like it might just be time for them to blow it up. Bo is probably the one guy on that team who's got the most upside, but it all depends what their management does too. Like they might just decide to keep going with it. So like then he would stay put. But I think they're kind of in dead water. I think they should move on from at least one of those guys.
I think I agree. And that's why I brought up Vlad. I think one of them is going and one of them is staying. And I have no idea which one is going and which one is staying. I think you could have a sound argument for both either staying or going.
Mm-hmm.
And they both kind of have the same. It's kind of a matter of what you want back. Like I don't know what you get back for either. I imagine you'd get slightly more back for Bo just because
he's got more upside.
Premium position.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man.
Yeah, they're just kind of like a dead water, They're kind of like the Pirates in a way, but like the Pirates are like real bad. But
yeah,
it's there's levels to it, and they're just kind of like a similar archetype. It's like, oh, we play good for a month and then we're shit the rest of the year, but we don't really do anything to get ourselves better or worse to go in the right direction.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Pushing on to the next question, even though you spoiled your answer, we'll get around to it.
Yeah, I'll
Coming
just
from
go first. I'll just go
coming
first.
from
Go ahead.
our friend Mikey OC, sneaky players that could have a big impact after the trade deadline, meaning somebody that is probably going to get shopped that could have a huge impact on a contender.
Lane Thomas. Perfect. Yeah. Coors LT. I don't think he's going to get traded, though. I will disclose that because, like, he should be, like, one of the most coveted guys to get traded every year. Because how long have the Nats been bad? Ever since they won that World Series. Like, they've been bad ever since. Like, he is, like, an outfielder that you could put on any team and he'd make an immediate impact. Like, he's having a bit of a down year this year, which is why I think he was hurt for a little bit. But I think that's why, like, he might stay put. But I don't know how he's still on that team. Like, last year and a year before, like, he was awesome for them. He's their best player by far. And he's still on that team. It's like, why are you keeping him? And I mean, he's not like a huge name either, but he's really good. You know, like, he's not like this all-star uber talented baseball player, but like, he's a 275 hitter. Best, gives you some slug, a lot of doubles, not as many home runs as today's MLB would probably like, but he's a solid player, like almost like a Whit Merrifield type of baseball player, but with a little more pop. You know what I mean? Like, the Phillies got Whit Merrifield in the free agency this season, or they didn't trade because he went from KC to Toronto.
Yep.
Then the Phillies signed him. Yeah, okay. I think of him like that, a guy like that, who, like, I don't think Whit plays every day. He might.
No, he's having a pretty mediocre year this year.
Yeah, but I mean, I
prior
think
to this year, yes.
Yeah, I think Lane Thomas is like similar, but like at the higher end of like a Whit Merrifield type player. I think you could plug LT in anywhere and he'd be successul. Maybe I'm taking crazy pills because, like, I've been thinking, like, how is he still on the Washington Nationals every year? Maybe I'm just flat out wrong, but those are my thoughts. Like, that's who I'd go with.
I like it. I've got two. I've got Jack Flaherty because he's just putting together an incredible year. If you asked me preseason where I thought the Tigers would rank, you would know that I was pretty adamant about having them first in the AL Central. I'm looking like a big dumb idiot on that.
Yeah, you got duped. I didn't.
I did. They tricked the shit out of me. I fell for the trap. And Jack Flaherty's only on a 1-year deal, so they have no incentive to hold on to him. They're hardly paying him. He's making $8 million this year, so he's really not getting paid anyways. He is putting up a 3 ERA. He's pitching above what his expected stats are, so he should be better than what he's thrown.
Yeah,
which
is their second best pitcher. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, besides Skubal, who very well could be the AL Cy Young.
Mm-hmm.
He's just tearing it up. I mean, this is the Jack Flaherty that, like, I remember circa 2018, 2019 when he first came up with the Cardinals. Like, this is what I imagined his career being. And he was so piss poor the last couple of years. I was like, I might just be wrong about it. I've got a soft spot for Jack Flaherty. I really like him as a player. I think he's getting shopped, and he's going to be huge at the deadline for somebody. I think he's going to go to LA with all the injuries they've had in the rotation, with Walker Buehler going down again, Bobby Miller's hurt, Emmett Sheehan's out, Clayton Kershaw, no clue what you're going to get out of him. And Tyler Glasnow, the man who's literally made of glass, has been the one strong part of the rotation.
Constant, yeah.
Even Yamamoto went down this week.
And
so
he's pitching awesome too, Glasnow.
Yeah, and he looks amazing. So I think, and Jack Flaherty is from California. Think it's a match made in heaven. I love it. That's where I have him going. He'll be a huge impact guy there. Mm-hmm. I could also see him going to Atlanta because they need pitching in the worst way possible. So I think it's going to be a bidding war for him with his numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Number two.
I agree.
Yeah. Number two, I've got my guy, one of my favorite players, Brent Rooker for the A's. I think it's time they part ways with it. As much as a young core as they've built, and they've done a good job producing hitters, I think he might be the one to go. And he is a guy that he's like kind of like you said with Lane Thomas. Like, I think you could plug him into pretty much any lineup in the MLB and he would make an immediate impact. Like, he crushes the ball. He offers a lot of slug. He's going to strike out a little bit. He's not real good defensively, but he's a really good bat to have. And he would make a fantastic addition, especially for a playoff push. Like, you got Brent Rooker coming off the bench in a World Series game. Like, that's a really good bench bat.
Yeah, you could think of a lot of worse options for sure.
Oh yeah. So those are my two. I think those two guys they're not real high profile guys that a lot of people are talking about. That's what I like. Pushing on to our final question, brought to you by Sam Fosberg, good friend of the show. College football predictions. Jake has been chomping at the bit for this one. I'm going to let you take control. I haven't dug a ton into college football. There's one team I really like next year, but I'll let you lead this one.
I haven't done a ton of digging yet, but I hate to say it, but I like Ohio State this year. Clock's ticking on Ryan Day. Backers are going to be pissed pretty soon. The boogeyman, Jim Harbaugh, is finally gone. I have two teams that I'm looking forward to, seeing what they do, both in the Big Ten. But Ohio State, this is definitely Ohio State's year. Like, it's now or, like, down the road, because this is the easiest the Big Ten's going to get for them. Right now, they're the most talented team in there. You've got the best recruiting class in the country. It's literally now or never. Like, if Ohio State doesn't win the Big Ten, Ryan Day's probably getting fired. I'm dead serious. Like, he's gone if he doesn't win the Big Ten. Building off of that, James Franklin is the coach for life at Penn State. Like, probably. I would have to imagine, like, they wouldn't move on from him because he's always just good enough to make a bowl game and, like, be in a good bowl. But he's another guy. Like, the last couple of years, everyone, myself included, has been looking at, like, hey, this is a year Penn State could make some noise. And they always just seem to fall short, right? Like, they're like baby Michigan. Great defense, great trench play, great running game, quarterback lackluster, right? At least Jake McCarthy was capable. Like, I don't even remember who their quarterback was last year, but like the year before was Packers legend Sean Clifford, whatever the fuck his name is.
Then they had Hackenberg.
Yeah, like, just dog shit on offense, right? And like, those are the two programs that are like, it's now, you know what I mean? Like, Pac-12's moving in, the big hitters in the Pac-12 are moving in. Oregon's going to be a contender right up there. Washington's program is in shambles. USC is going to have a really tough time playing like real football. UCLA is going to be in the same boat. I feel like UCLA is probably the most balanced of the new coming teams into the Big Ten, but Oregon's the most talented. So, like, to me, it's those three teams. Like, it's Oregon, it's Ohio State. Like, Ohio State should have national title aspirations this year. Like, Georgia's going to come with a vengeance for sure. And I've been pretty high on LSU the last couple of years too. Like, I'm a contrarian liker of Brian Kelly, which is really weird because it seems like I'm the only person who likes Brian Kelly. He's a good coach. Like, don't let all those Notre Dame dweebs tell you he's not. He's a good coach. And, like, there's college football is, like, never been in a better spot, But, like, Ohio State is a real opportunity. Like, Georgia's going to be fucking awesome. They always are. And Alabama's going to be good too. Like, I think that's going to be the one thing. Oh, Nick Saban's finally gone. Watch Kalen DeBoer win 13 games with them. Like, Alabama ain't going anywhere. They've been good for 70 years. So, like, Ohio State is the one team I really have circled. Like, this is the year I will probably be betting Ohio State to win the national title. It's probably like 8-1 or 10-1, but like this is probably the best year that they've had in the last 5 or 6, like, before the season started. Like, I know 2 years ago they were a missed field goal away from going with CJ Stroud, but like, this is really it. Like, this is probably your best look at it.
I like it. I've got one team I have really circled and another team that I want your take on. So my team that I have circled is the Utah Utes, who I was extremely high on.
I like Cam Rising for the Heisman.
I
think I'm going to bet that this
Cam.
year.
7th year. He's back for year 7.
Yeah, I know, dude. He's good too. He's
one of the best in the country. He is. I love that bet for Heisman for him.
I was thinking about that a couple of weeks ago. I think I'm going to do Cameron Rising this year.
He is awesome. And they brought back some other guys on offense. I think their running back is back. That defense is always really, really strong. They're really well coached on defense.
Great. They're just well coached in general.
Yeah, well coached in general.
Kyle
Yep.
Whittingham is like probably the best coach on that side of the country.
That place is impossible to win at. So anybody who's going there, not coming out with a win.
Probably not. No, I think Baylor. I don't. They lost one game at home, and it was a shock. I don't remember who it was.
It might have been Baylor. There was one weird game early on that they lost at home.
I thought Utah won that game though, but I could be wrong.
Maybe they did.
They played at Baylor though. They didn't. I don't think they played in. Where is that? Provo? No, that's where BYU.
No, that's BYU. They play in Salt Lake, I believe.
Salt Lake, yeah.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, that's a team I really, really like this year. I think they have a legitimate chance to win the Big 12.
I would agree with that.
I don't know who else in the Big 12 is going to be super in with that. I think
that
people are always high on Texas.
Maybe. Well, Arizona. Yeah, Arizona.
People are always high on Texas. Who know? Oh no, they're gone. They're in the SEC this year.
Yeah, Oklahoma and Texas are gone.
They're gone.
Yeah, I think Arizona would probably be the only other team because they were like a wagon last year. They just played bully.
They were. Yeah.
Yeah, and like your two best teams left. I mean, I think TCU is going to bounce back, but like I think
probably
I would not be shocked if the winner of the Big 12 was a newcomer this year. BYU played a Big 12 schedule last year, and they looked okay. Like, I don't think their expectations were all that high. Like, they kept up with much better competition. Like, Florida A&M, or Tech, excuse me, not A&M. Florida, Texas Tech, they kept up with Oklahoma. They pretty surprising. Like, I didn't think they were going to be much of anything. So, like, the Big 12's wide open for sure.
Utes are my team this year. I think they're going to tear it up this year. And Cam Rising literally didn't play at all last year. He played like 3 halves of football, all in separate games. And then they pretty much just ran out 2 quarterbacks every single game. And they were still in every single game they played. Like, that defense is no joke. That defense is really, really good. It's
the coach. Like, Kyle Whittingham is seriously one of the best coaches in the country.
And I want your opinion on this team. I don't really know what to make of them. I was up and down with them last year. Ole Miss. I just don't know what to make it. I kind of like them this year. They had their quarterback is a freshman, right? He was a freshman last year. I think he's back, I believe.
It's not Jackson Dart. That guy's gone.
No, it is him. He's back.
Oh, that's Jackson Dart. Okay.
Yeah.
He's solid.
I like him a lot. I mean, they run that like super high powered offense where they're just trying like rat race you, but I don't know. I think they might be solid this year. I mean, the SEC just got a hell of a lot tougher, so who knows?
Ole Miss is always solid. Like every year they finish in the poll at like 7 to 10. Like they're always really good. It's just like the boogeyman's gone, but the real boogeyman is still there. Like Kirby Smart is like I said Jim Harbaugh was, like he is for the Big Ten, but like Kirby Smart is like nightmare fuel for the rest of the SEC. Like it's hard to pick anybody else to win the SEC.
It is.
Minus Georgia. Like it really is. Like if you like a different team to upset them, you're always going to get a good price on it because Georgia's always like a pick 'em to win the conference. Rightfully so. They're really good, but like I think Ole Miss never seems to drop a game they shouldn't. Like they'll always fuck around and like make it interesting, but like every year they lose to Alabama, and if they play Georgia, they lose. They get curb stomped by Georgia. It's the same thing every year. I like Texas a lot. Like everyone's always like, "Oh, horns down." Texas always they're good. Like Sarkisian's the guy. I think they finally found the guy. Am I saying they're going to win a natty? No, but like they're going to be solid so long as that guy is, running their program. I'm out on Oklahoma. They just don't play defense. Like gave up 50 to Kansas. Come But yeah, I always like Ole Miss. I like betting on Ole Miss unders because they're always super inflated. And it turns out, like when you play analytics football with college kids, they like to not get fourth down conversions instead of kicking field goals. So it's like just 5 minutes wasted. So I love betting their unders. But yeah, like they'll be the third team in that conference, probably third or fourth, like they are every year. It's just like with them, they just have to win a big game.
Yeah.
Like I think this year they played Georgia in where the fuck did they play?
Athens.
Not Georgia, Ole Miss, Oxford.
Oh, Oxford, yeah.
Yeah, I think they played in Oxford and got just trucked, right? So I mean, you're going up to Athens next year. That's probably not going to be a win. It's just like you have to like steal one in that conference. Like you got to win all the games you should, and there are a lot of games you should. Like I'm of the belief that the SEC is kind of a little watered down now. Then that could be totally wrong. Like a lot of people would disagree with that, and I think that's fair. It's just like an agree to disagree kind of thing. But like, who are your best teams in that conference? Georgia, obviously. Alabama, obviously. And then it's like a significant drop. Florida isn't what Florida was 15 years ago. They're getting there. They're better. I like Florida. I bet on them a lot last year. But Mizzou's dog shit. I don't care. Like, they're better this year. No, they suck. Get out of here. Tennessee, they're a bubble team. Like, I'm out on that coach too. Like Hendon Hooker was a great story, but I think that was a flash in the pan. Like I don't think they're that good. They're like Iowa, just they happen to have a really good offense that year with Hooker and who's a wide receiver. He's on the Giants now. Hyatt.
Oh yeah, Josh Hyatt.
Josh Hyatt. Ole Miss is I'd say Ole Miss is probably the fourth best team with Texas coming in. But like if you were to bet them to like be in the championship game, I don't think they could go win in Austin. Like I don't know the schedule. Like I'm not sure.
Yeah, I have no idea who they play yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have the standings or like the East-West memorized by any means. But like, if I'm looking at the SEC, like all the other noise, forget about it. It's Georgia, Alabama, Ole Miss, Texas, and LSU. Those are the only five I would look at. South Carolina ain't shit. Bye-bye Spencer Rattler. I think he's finally done. Good riddance.
Yep, he is.
Florida, like I want Florida to be good, but they're just not there yet. Tennessee, same thing. A&M, Jimbo's gone. Who knows what's going to happen with them?
Mississippi
Oklahoma,
State.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Mississippi State, I'm out.
Vandy's awful.
Vandy's, been awful, will be awful. I'm missing one, I think. I think I got most of them. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, Arkansas. Out.
Yeah, Arkansas.
Out on them. Kentucky. Kentucky is trending in the right direction with Stoops. I think Stoops is their coach, but same thing. Just no offense. Very defensive-oriented conference now.
Yeah.
But George is just mean. But so I got a little sidetracked there. But I agree with you on Utah. I think Utah has a really good chance of being a Big 12 contender. And I am probably going to bet Cam Rising to win the Heisman.
I love that play.
I think everyone's going to suck Shedeur Sanders' dick. It pisses me off, but
they won't be good enough for him to win it, in my opinion.
No, but that's all we're going to hear about is Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders. I threw 40 touchdowns against the scout team. Yeah. Yeah, they have fun playing in the Big 12. Oh, wait, they don't play defense in the Big 12, so he probably will win the Heisman. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That I like at Ohio State. Like I said, it's like this is it for me. Like this year, it's them in Georgia to me, anyways. But
I like it. Well, that's our show, folks. Thanks for chiming in all the questions. We had nice to actually talk about something that wasn't baseball. As much as I love baseball, it's nice to mix it up.
Right now, I love
especially
football.
In the summer.
Football. Like
it's coming.
I've been pretty quiet. Like I haven't been writing a ton. I don't tweet as much. I just love football and hockey. my favorite. Not NFL either, like college. I live.
It's coming.
And the game's coming too. I can't wait to take Air Force.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
I'm
so excited.
Run shit with Colorado Springs, baby.
Be sure to check us out on Twitter at Overdue Sports. Check out our website, overduesports.com. Like, subscribe, stay tuned for all the coming content. We got some stuff cooking for NCAA football. It's coming soon, so stay tuned. We'll be around, and we are out of here.